Recently, I replayed the original God of War and came to a conclusion. Despite being over 20 years old now, it has still not lost any replayability or excitement for me. It sounds crazy. Fixed camera angles, the older control scheme, which many people brush off as just a button masher. It isn't. Let me prove it. We start the game on a ship being attacked by a Hydra, where we are given control, and the combat felt like meeting an old friend again. Felt like no time had passed at all. You're given a heavy attack, a light attack, and a grab, and that's all you need. You can chain your heavy and light attacks into combos to perform special moves. The game also features an upgrade system. Kill enemies or destroy objects in the environment, or you get red orbs. Have a higher combo, get more red orbs. These orbs upgrade your weapons and unlock newer moves. Use these newer moves to unlock higher combos and rinse and repeat. There is no percentage damage or having to think about the stats of one armor over the other. You also get access to 4 magic moves throughout the course of the game. My favorite is Poseidon's Rage, which deals damage in a massive circle to all enemies. It also makes you invulnerable. Really cool. Zeus's Fury is absolutely useless though, and I have never once needed to use it nor upgrade it. And look, I get it. 3 buttons must be a button masher. Right? Wrong. The way you choose to string together combos matters because some combos lock you into a specific animation, leaving you vulnerable to get hit. And enemies are also capable of blocking and counterattacking, meaning you can't just button mash through combat. Magic is also a finite resource, so you must manage your magic meter as well. This is especially true on higher difficulties, where a single mistake could cost you having to reload back to the last save point. Even if you ignore all of that, the combat is just simplistic fun. And that is the core reason of why it still feels as good today as it did back in 2005. Remember when Thor showed up in the Norse game and called Kratos a calm and reasonable man? All of us had a laugh when that happened, because everybody remembers the rage monster who snapped necks while taking names in God of War 3. God of War 1 proves that Thor was not exaggerating in the slightest. In the first game, the words I would use to describe Kratos are somber, remorseful, ashamed even. He does not go around screaming and yelling at everyone. He's polite to almost everyone he speaks to, including the gods, who he treats with reverence in this game. He's mostly a man haunted by his past. Nothing highlights this more than the opening. In contrast to the entire hack and slash image of the game, the opening cutscene is Kratos mournfully trying to end his own life to be rid of the nightmares that haunt him. Even when we find out what preceded this decision was the god saying that the last 10 years you spent working for us were all for nothing, he just calmly accepts his fate. He spent 10 years fighting and finally has nothing left in him now. That is a Greek tragedy, no matter which way you slice it. Kratos is a nuanced and well rounded character from the very first minute of the very first game and is the base all the other games have built upon. If the Norse games are good because Kratos is a family man haunted by the decisions of his past, I got news for you. He was always there, even in the first game. The location in the game feel grand and match the epic adventure Kratos sets off on. Pandora's Temple, where you spend most of the game, is my favorite location throughout the entire Greek saga. I love that you acquire an item and go back to the main temple hub to move further. It helps give you a sense of progression as you go level by level towards Pandora's box. I especially love when you get to go outside and see the desert from Kronos' back. What is even better is how the game presents this location in an incredibly cinematic way. The fixed camera angle is another complaint people have against the first game. It was never a problem for me though. In fact, the fixed camera helped present the grandeur of locations like Athens Square, or when you finally reach the room containing Pandora's box after facing the challenges that the temple has thrown at you. It also helps in visual storytelling, as the camera pans across scenes of soldiers falling in battle in Athens. It even works in combat. I actually prefer the fixed camera angles that give me a proper view of the whole battle arena when you are in a fight. The soundtrack of the game is amazing. To back the ancient Greek setting, the team used songs with Greek vocals that has become the main theme for Kratos. The entire soundtrack helps add to the cinematic flair and grandeur of location alongside the visuals. The orchestral theme that plays when you walk across the sword leading to the Desert of Lost Souls only adds to the feeling of an epic quest the visuals are already presenting you with. The grandeur of the Temple of Athens is reflected in its theme. The foreboding sense of Pandora's temple is enhanced with its soundtrack when you enter it. The game's OST features tracks that have only gotten better with time, and also has a few tracks that appear in later games, having been enhanced with newer and larger teams and better hardware. I have to give credit to Bear McCreary for his work on the soundtrack. Now, not everything in the game holds up as well today though. The enemy design can be hit or miss, with the satyrs being a prime example of annoying enemy design. They are fast and jump around a lot. Not to mention, they can just dodge your attack and counterattack you by grabbing and slamming you to the ground. I mostly just used Army of Hades because I did not want to deal with them myself. The amount of beam balancing that you have to do in this game is probably equal to the other 3 games in the series combined. The Hades section is the worst offender in this though, because the spinning beams and swords make it an absolute pain to have to play through the whole level. It is then capped off by the thing that gives God of War veterans Vietnam PTSD flashbacks, the Spike Pillar. To this day, I do not know who made this and why. They made 2 of them. They're also the last thing you have to do before finally climbing out of Hades. Make one mistake and you're going to have to do it all over again. I threw my controller harder than Kratos throws Perseus in the second game. Spoiler warning, I guess. In spite of its flaws though, God of War is a game that succeeded at so much in 2005, and still, in 2026, I can appreciate it as a game not only for starting the legacy of Kratos, but also just as a game that I can play and have fun with. If you haven't played this game, go back to it. I promise you will find it better than you remember like I did. Santa Monica really did a great job with this game and learned from the mistakes to create a game that surpasses this one.